What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. Still got the strong 1-2, and Alexis Arguello in puppet form.
And I'm your other host, Frank Benji's, back with another one.
Yep. We're always back with a good one. Always back with these boxing chin wags. We like these, man. You're not going to find better boxing conversations.
What we do.
Yeah, it's what we do. It's what we do, man. And you're not going to find anybody doing it better. Go back and peruse. Let your eyes do the walking and go back and check. Unbelievable episodes. I always attribute it to the market just needs to catch up. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
the material is going to be sitting there waiting.
Can't argue with that.
Then you can thank us later. You could say, wow, this is a virtual treasure trove. I miss the days when you had your phone turned that way, though.
I mean, it's just better this way, though, for the setup.
You got to do what works for you. You do got to do what works for you.
I mean, I could turn it sideways. Like, I could do it like that.
That's up to you, man. I mean, that's up to you.
It just doesn't really stay in the holder like as good. I guess there, but
I'm nobody to be hypercritical, dude. Lord knows. I mean, come on. I've never edited a thing in my life. In my life. I mean, it's been no frills. It's been no editing and no frills for as long as I can remember. Since I was a wee little lad in the podcasting world.
I mean, that's all right, though, right?
Yeah, to the man I am today. Even Flacco Explosivo back there has to agree. Nothing better.
Yeah.
And speaking of better, we only were able to touch on it the last episode. March 3rd, at the time of our recording this. Last night, March 2nd, we had a ball at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino. Sat in press row and covered it for the podcast. There's lots of content up on our Facebook page. If you haven't already discovered it, if you're watching this episode, it's there. It's probably been there because it was there as of last night and or today. So, I mean, lots of great stuff. Congratulations.
I was coming through with the updates every fight.
Congratulations are due to our guest is here, but man, will shut up here. We'll just start yammering on and on about last night's boxing event. Derrick, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Man, it's good to have you on here. Derrick Webster, man, taking it to the bank, man. Taking it to the bank. Hey, listen, Derrick, I gotta say, man, we'll definitely talk boxing, man. But music, I want to talk about, man. Now you you sing R&B music and write songs?
Yeah.
So what came first, the music or the boxing?
Music. I don't know how I got in the boxing.
Really? And has it always been R&B?
I think I started when I found my love for music. First, it was like rapping. You know, like everybody had a little rap group.
Yeah.
Then and then somehow I think one of the guys in the group, they wrote a rap and they had a bar in there where they wanted singing.
Yeah.
And I sung it and it was like it grabbed the girl's attention. I was like, oh shit.
There you go. That's why you really like that's why you really like to sing right there, man, grabbing a girl's attention. So with that being said, I'm glad you brought that up. And this is probably a question that will come in several different parts here, man. But first of all, we'll get into the boxing stuff, but who's the singing inspiration? Who is that guy for you?
My singing inspiration growing up was always like Brian McKnight.
Yeah.
And Wanye from Boyz II Men.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
that was always my inspiration. And then as I started going on performing and meeting people, and then I did Jaheim's first album with him. I was his background vocalist on his first album.
I was tempted to bust out a little "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye" from Boyz II Men, but I can't sing for shit. But it almost inspired me when he brought up Boyz II Men, though, man. It took me back.
Only when I'm riding in the car by myself. But hey, they call me David Ruffin Jr.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Listen, I will always defend David Ruffin Jr. from the Temptation. No, excuse me, David Ruffin, the original, man, one of the best soul voices of all time.
Yeah, Yeah, he had a powerful voice.
Yeah,
He
very powerful, gravelly.
He meant everything he sung.
Yeah, you believed it. You believed it.
You could tell.
Right.
So on the flip side, man. So how do you get into boxing? You getting in a lot of fights?
You know what? Growing up, I was always like the quiet kid. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to fight too much, but when I did, it was bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I wasn't the person that that went out looking for trouble or really that had beef like that out in the streets. At a young age, my father was murdered, and my mother, I would say she did the best she could.
Yeah.
But I was left to the streets.
Yeah.
So you know, I had the lifestyle of like the whole drug dealing and carrying guns and all of that stuff.
That's real, man. That's real.
I was the person that I'm still the person that I learned from watching.
Yeah.
So I seen like when people did this, they ended up in jail or they got killed.
Yeah.
So I wanted better for myself. So a boxing gym opened up across the street from my house. So I said, you know, I'm gonna go give it a try. And like I think in the streets, the only father figure I had in my life, God rest his soul, when he would show me how to fight, he loved Evander Holyfield. He loved boxing.
Yeah.
So he always showed me like how to hold my hands and like, you know, if you put a man down, you don't go pick up a weapon, you don't call your friends.
Right.
Like the hell with all that stomping and kicking on somebody, you let them get up and you put them back down again.
You be admirable. Yeah.
So when I walked into boxing, I remember I was hitting the bag and I'm moving and I'm slipping. And I remember the trainer walked over to me. He said, "How long you been boxing?" I said, "Today." And he couldn't believe it. And they really thought that I was lying about me boxing. Like, but I just always had the natural ability. I didn't have to learn how to throw a jab. I didn't learn how to move. I didn't have to learn any of that stuff. It was just I needed somebody to help me put it together.
Right.
So then I had my first amateur fight, like my first 30 days in boxing. And I fought somebody that had, I think, 4 fights or 5 fights that I knocked him out in 22 seconds.
Nice.
And it just kept going. And then
the confidence quick.
So what I started realizing was when the cops would say, "Don't hang with him," because I was always in something, I started becoming an example of how somebody could change their life.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, I was like, okay, so if I start doing this, then I won't be such a bad influence.
Right.
Because of the drug dealing and, you know, carrying guns. You know, carrying guns come with drug dealing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
One the same. Yeah.
So it changed my life, man. Like, I mean, now, like when I did used to get in trouble, like, you know, warrants and just if I did get in trouble, the same cops that locked me up then are my bodyguards now.
Yeah, that's cool. yeah, that's cool. And so, who was the boxing idol for you? Obviously, you mentioned the singing idol, but did you have that guy that you wanted to emulate and looked up to?
It was always Roy Jones.
Yeah,
I'm saying now he's like heavy, now he's heavy in my life now. Like, you know, so to watch him growing up, and now I could pick up the phone and call him and we could talk for hours. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like I'm actually living life with a childhood hero now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's crazy when it comes full circle like that. You know what I mean? Because I thought that through doing this podcast, like, you know, some of the guests that we've had on, we built a nice rapport. You know, they felt comfortable enough to give me their personal numbers in my phone and trust me with that. And it blows my mind to look in there and see some of these and just think, God damn, these are guys I watched on TV. You know what I mean? That I loved, and now I have somewhat of a friendship with them.
Right. And I mean, it's the same thing with me, Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver, Glenn Johnson, even, I mean, going back as far as the Tasmanian Devil, Vinny Pazienza. Like, I mean, I talk to all these guys on a regular.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's good for me to come from a small town, change my life over, and now I have these guys of their stature being able to know exactly who I am if they see me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, it's an amazing feeling. And correct me if I'm wrong, man, but according to BoxRec,
you know, and of course, BoxRec has been, you know, we have had to check them from time to time. They are always not the most accurate, but they have you down as 41 years old, but yet scheduled for a fight coming up here very soon.
Right, yeah, Madison Square Garden.
So you're still passionate about this, even at 41. Like, what's keeping you going at this age when a lot of guys are walking away from the sport?
I've never taken a beating. You know what I'm saying? Like and you gotta think. I started boxing. I started boxing as an amateur at the age 24.
Yeah, that's late.
I turned pro around 27. And I mean, being a 6'4" southpaw, like nobody's ever really wanted to fight me.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then you figure just the business of boxing is just hard all in itself. You know what I mean? Like, so I've had a year off here, a year and a half off here, 2 years off here. So it's like, you know, I don't feel as though I really got what I deserve out of the sport, but at the same time, I believe that I'm giving what God wants me to have so far. If that makes sense.
Well said. Yeah.
Like, I'm not. You don't want to rush this sport at all. You don't want to rush this sport at all. So it's like, you know, like, yes, like, I mean, at 41 years old, I can still compete with these young dudes. Like, I mean, my last fight when I fought for the world title again, Christopher Pearson, I didn't know I was fighting Christopher Pearson until the day of the weigh-in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my opponent had, I was actually supposed to be fighting one of Roy Jones's fighters.
Okay.
Because, and I felt like that fight would have been just amazing because Roy Jones has been who I've emulated my career after, and he's trained me after so many fights. And now I'm fighting one of his fighters. So it's like, how do you train me? I mean, how do you train a fighter to pretty much beat yourself?
I know.
But so the fight ended up not happening. Then Chris stepped in, and Chris came in, I think, 11 pounds overweight. I knew nothing. I knew not much about him. At the fight, he was just a bigger fighter. You know what I mean? He had a large pedigree that I learned later. But I mean, we fought it out to a draw. I mean, I feel as though I clearly beat him, but they called it a draw. I know. I will say, like, the last few rounds, like, my body started locking up on me because I didn't drink water like I should have. So that was an amateur mistake on my part.
Yeah.
But I was more worried about trying to build my weight back up to catch his weight.
Yeah.
Because you figure when you're in shape, and then you go eat, your body fights right back off.
And now you still feel comfortable at the weight you're fighting at? Like, has that changed as you've gotten older?
No, I can actually still get this. I can still get down to super middleweight, but I'm actually going up in weight to fight this guy.
Okay. So what do you guys be at? Light heavy?
We're going to light heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying so, and I mean, I've read up on him. You know, I know he's a gold medalist from Ireland. That's Ireland. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't, like, I can assume that that's pretty easy to do over there. That's not the USA.
Right.
And then like,
they like to fight in Ireland, though.
Huh?
They like to fight in Ireland. You know.
This is new. This
big of a country.
This is the USA.
That's right. Yeah, they are coming here to the home turf. Yeah, that's true. And I got to ask you, though, as a guy who's 6'4", because that's my son right there. We co-host together. We're both also 6'4". Do you find that a lot of people that are in your circle are always referring to you as like, wow, that's a big guy. That's a big guy. But yeah, you know, when I look at myself, I don't see us out in the world of like, you know, like I look at a guy in the NBA like a LeBron, 6'8", 6'9". That's a big guy to me.
Yeah. Also, you can't tell on TV how big guys are. Like, I watched Shushu fight recently. Then I met him last night. He was like half my.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, very short. We were boxing last night. Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's
weird.
You realize that like everybody looks huge on TV in a boxing ring.
Yeah, I think like me coming up in boxing, they called me a freak of nature all the time. Like,
yeah,
you know, they always called me a freak of nature. But
yeah,
I guess it's because, you know, like, boxers is normally 5'11", 5'10", 5'9". So it's like, I take to it, but like, you know, for me to be 6'4", if I have to fight small, I can. I love to fight on the inside. I'll destroy you on the outside. You know, so this fight's gonna be really entertaining to me.
I want to ask, because you're talking about being 41, and I know, like, you know, no one wants to think about it, but eventually your career is going to come to an end. And obviously, like, have you thought about what life's going to look like after that? You talked about like being from the inner city and having a lot of problems. I wonder, are you going to like reach back to the community and try to like pull some struggling youths? Maybe like,
well, you know, I've been doing that since the beginning of my career. You know, I mean, I got my Young Team WEBSTER campaign going on. Like, we do a lot of stuff for the inner city communities. I mean, like, I'll be having different states flying me all over, just honoring me for the things I do outside of my community. But I own a few businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had that coming into boxing. Boxing was always just a bonus to me. Yeah. Like, I never came into boxing and was like, oh, I need boxing to pay a bill. That was never my thing. I live in a nice house. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
you're doing all right.
Yeah, boxing. Like, I mean, I think from me being in the streets, I learned how to survive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've always beat odds. I always have, like, my kids don't look to me and say, "Oh, Dad, when can we have?" They say, "Dad, make sure I have." But I mean, like, so that's the good thing. Like, if I need to do something, I can do it. Like, that's the good thing. I mean, like, would I love to get a couple $1 million in a fight? Of course, you know. But if that's not what God has in His plans, then it is what it is. Like, I promised my family now. I'm probably, no matter how good I feel, I don't need this shit no more. So it's like, you know, I'm to the point where, like, I told my family, I said, after this fight, I'll probably give it 4 more times, and I'll probably be done.
4 more after this time.
Or yeah, I told them 5 fights. You know what I'm saying? But so after this fight, it'll be 4, unless something big happens. If something
box rec, that would leave you at, they currently have you at 29-4-1. So that would leave you with a very decent record and a very certainly walking away, leaving a credible legacy.
Yeah, right. But is that's hard to do? Like, you feel like you could still compete with the young guys and do it? Like, obviously, I'm not there yet. Like, I'm not at that age where I would be like thinking about that kind of stuff. So I'm just curious, like. How do you like kind of like work through that and figure out like it's definitely my time and I've definitely had it with this?
To be honest with you, I could have walked away from boxing years ago and it's still been exactly I've already made a brand for myself. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And mind you, I came into this to stop myself from going to jail or for dying.
Yeah.
And I've done that, and I've won 7 titles. I've won Fighter of the Year a few times. I've won most defensive fighter a few times. Humanitarian awards. Just community leadership awards. So my kids have something to look at outside of just belts and plaques, and they see what I did in the community. I won already.
Yeah. You have,
I won already. Like, you know, like the four fights that and it's not to take away from no other fighter, but I'm not one to have excuses. But the 4 fights that I've lost, I've never, ever, ever walked into the ring and been outclassed by anybody.
Right.
I went into the ring either unfocused, not prepared on my own will. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't back down from anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm okay with either side of the coin. I'm okay with either side of the coin. Like, if I come home and I lose, I still party like I won.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to where I don't have to come home and be like, oh man, you know, Dad lost or your husband. Ah, man, look, I'm okay with either side because I know what I came into this fight. I know what I came into this sport to do.
Right.
And my name goes. I mean, I haven't been all the way across the map, but I mean, people in New Zealand know who I am.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that says a whole lot for what I've done. I've been in MGM movies. You know, it's heightened my modeling career.
Yeah.
I've been, like I said, I'm flown around the world just to speak to other kids that feel as though there's no way out.
Yeah.
So
that's worthwhile right there. That's worthwhile. Yeah. That's really worthwhile.
So to me, for me, I'm proud of what I've done.
What would be bigger, winning a world title or a Grammy?
Shit. You know what? I would probably say a world title.
Yeah.
I'll probably say a world title.
What does a Grammy really mean anymore nowadays, right? I mean, that's probably true.
But to be honest, like, it's the same thing you could say. What does a world title mean anymore these days? There's so many.
True. There are a lot of belts floating around out there.
But at the same time, with me winning the belts that I have won, I think about the preparation and the dedication.
Right. I don't want to diminish those. Right.
And,
Sure.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like it's more, I would say that it's probably more work involved.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Physically. And then when you're training for a fight physically, you go through the spiritual battles, you go through the every fighter, I don't care who they are, every fighter has discouraging moments.
I want to stop you right there. When you say the spiritual battle, man, I really picked up on that. What does that mean when you're training for a fight, the spiritual battle? What's the spiritual battle look like?
Like even now, like my fight is 2 weeks from now, right?
Okay.
Things just start coming at you.
Okay.
To try to take you off your focus.
Yeah.
You know, so I've had so many things that tried to block me, and or maybe like me and my trainer may not be getting along, or I'm saying, things that can mess my focus. And I'm like, you know what? No, my focus is him.
I don't think I've heard a lot of people put the spiritual spin on it. Like, you feel like those obstacles are purposely being done by evil forces, whatever you want to believe in.
Devil's trying to work.
What I always say is anytime God's working, the devil's working at the same time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how strong you are and how focused you are and how disciplined you are to pick which battle it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but like, like there's nobody has a perfect training camp. Nobody. I mean, shit, just the other day I took my mother-in-law out just yesterday for her birthday, and my right foot just started hurting out of nowhere.
Yeah. I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah, so so I went.
News hurting every day.
So I went out to go jog today, and I went to the track, and I was limping. I was just like, damn. Like my lady was like, she said, why don't you just come home and go get your foot checked?
Yeah.
I could have very easily just listened to her and just walked away from the track, but instead I stretched.
Yeah.
Before I knew it, I was on my 6th mile, and then I found the steepest hill, and I ran the hill 12 times.
Yeah, yeah. That's pushing, man.
Because the fighter in me tells me, if I can get my body moving, I can get the blood circulating.
Yeah.
And then the pain went away. You know what I'm saying? So it's mind over matter, man.
If you need to get yourself pumped up, man, and fight the best round of your life, or you just need you're training and you just need, you could point to one song that would pump you up the most, man. What's that song? Do you have one in mind that just instantly just takes you there?
Not really a song, no. Because you know what the crazy thing is, when I listen to R&B while I'm training.
Okay. Is there an artist?
As long as it's music, I don't care. But I don't listen. I don't listen to a lot of rap music. But anything that gets me where I need to be is just me thinking about either my kids or my grandfather.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's always been my my go-to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, those are the biggest people in my life. So that's always been the thing I go to.
As a guy who fights at super middleweight, before we let you out of here, man, is Canelo going to go down as the greatest super middleweight of all time?
I think he'll go down as one.
You think it hurts his? You think it hurts his legacy if he walks away from the sport and he doesn't fight Benavidez?
I think that's going to haunt him for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Amen. That's pretty easy right there. Haunt him. Yeah.
I think that's definitely going to haunt him. Do I think that he's purposely staying away from Benavidez? You know what I mean? Who knows? We don't know what's going on behind closed doors as far as the business side of it.
Seems like a pretty blatant duck. I don't know.
He definitely picks and chooses who he wants to fight. I mean, like, I was offered to fight Canelo when we both was 14-0. Yeah. But they said I was too tall. So Benavidez is pretty tall.
Yeah, he is. Not as tall as you, but he's tall. Yeah.
Yeah. So he may not want to fight, Canelo. I mean, I'm Benavidez. You never know.
Yeah.
So, but I think if he doesn't, I think that haunts him. That gives Benavidez something to talk about.
I think Canelo is just like, fuck it. I've had so many fights, man. Do I really need this guy that's going to throw 80 to 100 punches around at me, man? I don't want that. I'm not looking for that kind of work.
If I was Canelo, I mean, I think you pick and choose your battles.
And I guess he's doing that right.
I think Canelo has done everything he needs to do. I mean, he stepped up. He fought Mayweather at a very young age.
Yeah.
he's actually called Mayweather back out again, but Mayweather, for whatever reason, didn't fight Canelo.
Right.
When Canelo was really like, all right, I learned my lesson from you.
Right.
I done steamrolled through all these other dudes. Now come back and fight me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not young and immature anymore.
Not happening.
So,
Yeah.
so
I wouldn't have gone back if I was Floyd.
No, hell no.
I already beat.
I think Floyd was smart for not doing so.
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
But then you got to think about it like this: is Floyd being haunted for not coming back to fight Canelo?
True.
Floyd's
Right.
ego is so big, though, man. I don't even know if Floyd's the kind of guy that would be haunted by anything. He just like, I'm doing my thing, and I don't
really
care.
not so much. Really not so much of a Floyd thing, but just the boxing world itself.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
maybe.
like the boxing stuff. That's just like if Canelo doesn't fight Benavidez, Canelo's not going to be the one that's going to be haunted, but is the boxing world
Yeah, we gonna
going
haunt.
to talk about, like, you know what, he should have fought, he should have. But you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that talk but can't write the check to see the fight either. So
Right.
and so at the end of the day, they're just talking. That's how I look at it. It's just talk.
Well, we wish you a lot of luck coming up on this fight. I'm glad we did this, and we really threw this together on such short notice, man. I appreciate you just kind of I mean, you know, we just linked up, and you're just like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it, you know, and it worked out really good. But that being said, please stay in touch. We would definitely like to have you back on again, man. I mean, it was great chopping it up with you, man, and you keep us posted on whatever's going on in your career, man, and you'll keep people updated, man.
I definitely will. Y'all two stick together too, man, because you don't see a lot of this.
I know. That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot. I think we may be the one and only father-son duo in boxing media.
Listen, man, we sat in press row last night, and I didn't see anybody else doing any video work at all. They were all blogging.
Everybody was blogging and sitting on a laptop. Yeah, like we were getting out there, man, and getting out and networking. We were trying to. I mean, you know, meeting other fighters and, you know, trying to set up and cultivate interviews for on down the road. You know, I mean.
Yeah, definitely keep this together. Because like I said, I mean, all the podcasts I've done and interviews I've done, I've never seen this, and I wish my father was here, man. So like,
I know.
Stay close to your dad, man. Definitely. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you saying that, man. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And I, in turn, will say, it's so hard. No, I'm not going to do that to you, man. Forget it. I can't do that to you.
To say goodbye to yesterday.
I'll let you do it. I'll let you do that. I'll let you do the heavy lifting and singing. It's been fun, though, man. Definitely. Please stay in touch. We'll do it again soon, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, have a good one, man. There he goes, folks. Derrick, take it to the bank. Webster, 29-4-1, 14 KOs, still doing his thing at super middleweight, man. 41 years old, man.
Dude. I mean, people can fucking read the room if they want. I mean, I'm gonna say this anyway, but read the room. Don't be an asshole. I'm not being an asshole. I'm being real right here. Black, don't crack. That dude did not look 41 at all.
Hell no.
In any way, shape, or form. He did not look 41.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
He looked my age, dude. I thought he was like
fantastic.
around my age, 30.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would listen if he was telling me that, and I was somewhere. I would demand to see some papers or some.
He did 41 to me.
I'd be like, get out of here, man. Yeah. Go on. I'd kind of give him that little punch in the shoulder, like if I was there. Get out of here, man.
Right, he's only like 10 years younger than you.
I know, and I look like shit. I mean, but he also recognizes the fact that, man, you know, this is a special podcast. We've been told that before. I mean, you know, that's not news to us, man, but it's always nice to hear. And I appreciate Derrick Webster saying that, man. And obviously, man, he also took us out there with a little Voice to Men, his rendition, much more beautiful than mine. But he does like to do the R&B singing, man. And you can obviously tell him that he can get busy with the vocals and he can get busy with the hands. He's got to do it. He's what we call a double threat. I was like that growing up as well, dude, man.
I would go outside
and athletics.
He would go outside and beat you up and then take your girlfriend with his voice.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah. and that's the true meaning of a double threat guy. Right there. Yeah. So that being said, man, like and follow us on Facebook. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell right here on Facebook or for Facebook. You're watching us on YouTube. Come on, man. It's the pot again, folks. It's the pot, which reminds me, let me reach for my pen for the next episode. I've already gone outside and gotten pie-eyed already tonight, but, you know, there's always more to do. So this next episode, and we're going to be rolling into another one, will be brought to you by
Yep.
Some
So,
type of weed pen.
Shout out to Tissues because I got to blow my nose. And shout out to Gary Busey because I can go 15 seconds with anything.
Yeah. Stay tapped in. There's no better boxing conversations on the internet anywhere. So continue to stay with us. And if you want to be a champion, you got to roll with the champs.